Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Astrology Victoria, today with your host, Tatiana, to bring you the astrology of the week of April 25th until May 1st. So this Monday, starting with our astrology, it's a continuation of last week's transits. So this is not like a story that goes like this. It's a flow. So if you have not watched our video for the past week, I would recommend you watch it so you understand what has been happening in your world. Why are things the way they are, and what the energy is moving towards and intensifying towards, like what's the level or the apex of the energies at play that have been going on for the past week already. So we will dive in, and I will not stop too much to talk about the general themes of Neptune Jupiter, which we have covered extensively in our previous videos. So please watch that. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share if you do like to be involved with Astrology Victoria. So check the links below and click notification bell and all of that fun stuff. So let's dive in to the astrology of this last week of April. Alrighty, let's put my little face somewhere else. Ta-da! Ta-da! Okay, so we all know we are in the really thick of this conjunction of Jupiter and Neptune, which we have extensively covered, as we have a big Pisces stellium and a big Taurus stellium. So the energy of Pisces and Taurus, ruled by Venus, invites us towards flow, trust, compassion, the divine feminine, the receiving, the slowing, and the flowing. So as much as we can flow with the Piscean archetype, let's not forget also what is changing and grounding in our daily life. So at the same time, things are morphing to bring things that are more stable, more sustainable. So I covered this very in detail last week. So please go back and watch that. Otherwise, just that's like the recurring theme. Right? Trusting divine guidance. What are you fighting for? And let the flow of things carry you. All right. So, but this week, who is joining the combo of Jupiter and Neptune? Venus is joining here, the combo. And this energy couldn't be more lovely, gracious. It's compassionate, it's beauty. It's the access to grace, to music, to musing, to inspiration. I would say divine inspiration. So if you are able to connect to whatever you are, your soul, your being, this is the energy inviting that. And again, you might be in a mode of, even if you're in a chaotic mode of life, this energy is not inviting more chaos. It's inviting slowness within the change. Amidst the change, we're inviting connection to self, embracing the beauty within. And so, yes, this aspect could just be delightfully divine if you allow that. For beautiful relationships to come, for a lot of healing to occur as well. And yeah, like relationships, the sense of trusting, and also the sense that something might be ending or dissolving. However, this dissolution has an evolutionary purpose that is bringing you into more joy, more pleasure, more of the Taurian energy. So whatever is dissolving for you, it's not bad. If anything, it's good. So whatever endings, Pisces, the last sign of the zodiac, whatever endings we might be coming to, they were just beginning huge new cycles. So Venus conjoined Neptune will be starting a new cycle with Neptune. And Jupiter, that had just conjunct Neptune, it's also starting a massive new cycle. So when we talk about cycles, we talk about the nature of things. And when I say the nature of things is, well, you see the seasons. So acknowledging big seasonal changes in your life, in your relationships, your environment, and even the way things have been done. And this is not a small cycle, it's a big cycle. And I think what our divine intelligence, evolutionary intelligence, is asking of us is to move into the future with more compassion, with more grace, really acknowledging the unity of all we are, taking care of our earth, and being more in tune with Mother Nature, with Gaia. This is a very feminine time, and Gaia, Earth, our mother, where we, like, literally without her food, we don't live. I mean, I guess we could, like cyborgs or something like that, but is that what we want? Is that what you want? So this invitation of this last 2 weeks of April, as we see, is this invitation to trust that there is a much bigger evolutionary process that you are part of, I am part of, and we choose how to be part of this in order to achieve more harmony, more grace, more stability, Taurus, with amidst the change, right? And how to gather our resources and how we exchange with each other, you know, big changes coming, big changes in the workings, right? Allow the change to be graceful. And I think these energies will help the change to be graceful. So you embrace it. You know, at this time, resisting the current, it's not going to help you. If anything, it might produce more anxiety and more confusion, which is very possible in a Piscean mode. If you are too strict, too rigid, and too controlling, and we talked about this last week, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Take a deep breath. Listen. Listen to the birds. Listen to nature. Listen to the water. Sit out in the sun. And I'm being deliberately slow because we're so used to this. And then go down, you know, and we will have that coming up in the next month. We'll have that. We'll have new beginnings, a lot of energy. Right now, don't spend your energy trying to push. Do whatever you need to do to get your ducks in line, but no pushing. Okay, yes, Mercury is going to be also squaring Saturn. And in this square to Saturn, we are going to have Mercury also conjoining, has been conjoining the North Node as well, which puts our mind into what we want to achieve and how our mind can be more into the pleasure, the stability, or we're thinking at least in that direction of how to provide more stability to these changing times, as Saturn is and has been asking of us to make a decision on what direction we're going to take. However, the evolutionary impulses will push us here towards the North Node. And your free will might want you here in the South Node and in the way things are done, or the identity that we're shedding, but it's just, again, going to be against the evolutionary current. So why fight it? And we will have a lot of little sextiles from the Pisces stellium to the Taurus stellium. So when we have things like Mercury sextile Jupiter, Neptune, we do have the opportunity to tune our minds into that divine grace, into literal grace. There could be like opportunities opening up that you never even thought of, that were only in your wildest dreams. And now they're opening up to be able to be manifest. Here with the sextiles is opportunity. Opportunity means you need to recognize it and step into it. And with Mercury and Neptune and Jupiter, there might be such expansion of dreams and visions. You could be literally dreaming so big. However, because Mercury is in Taurus, there's this kind of, there's like almost like a slowing down of the dream visions into a concrete way of actualizing these dreams, which is what we're trying to do. Bring heaven and your biggest, wildest dreams onto earth. And these this will be very possible, like these ideas, this, you know, getting also close to nature, anything that it has to do with the body and the senses might help anchor all these dreams. Like actually putting your hands in the dirt and using your body might tune another part of your mind that is not just the thinking mind. Is a mind that is more sensual. Is how do you sense your environment? How do you sense it? You know, and what ideas come from sensing, observing, and slowing down. When we slow down the mind, we're able to see more clearly and able to ground these energies. Moving on with Mercury. Again, these are all aspects having like happen simultaneously. So as Mercury trines Pluto, and we did talk about this last time as well, there is maybe a way now to see more clearly into what we need to completely transform. And the desire to transform the way we think will be there. Pluto always exposes the shadow and exposes what needs to be gone, what we need to detach from and completely compost. When Mercury is there in a trine, it's a supportive aspect, which can highlight various different things, highlighting either parts of ourselves that have been completely outgrown, especially in regards to the Capricorn themes of power dynamics, the rat race, who's up top and who's at the bottom, and how you deal with power dynamics. And I get this image, I just got this image of people still trying to climb to the top, and they're still trying to climb, and it's almost like observing that and say, you know what? That's no longer useful. So if you're still in that reality, this is going to bring awareness to that once again, but you might have the opportunity to transform even the way you think, maybe through deep conversations, deep communication. Mercury, Pluto brings depth to what your thoughts are. It could even pierce down into your being. What are your hidden motivations? And you can talk about it. So the best way to express this energy is to talk about it with people, is to to be raw. This is a little bit about the raw and true talk. It's raw. Raw means, we're not hiding anymore. We can't hide. We cannot hide it. If we keep hiding, then it's difficult. But this is a supportive aspect that may, very good for therapy. Anytime we have like Pluto involved, and Mercury, because it brings our mind into it and our thoughts, it brings awareness of the deep material that's still like hidden, our blind spots. So great time for that. And we're going to have, well, we talked about the Venus conjunction with Jupiter. So now this conjunction is going to be more exact towards the end of, towards the middle of the week, right? So again, a conjunction does not just happens on one day, it's a thing. But on that day, like midweek, you might want to tune into all the gifts. There's also possibility like of bringing in a lot of like things that you love and value, and it depends where Pisces is in your chart, because wherever your Pisces stellium is, you might be receiving gifts in this area of life as well, because Venus and Jupiter, the two benefics, are coming together just to bring big gifts. What do you love? What do you value? It could bring in money and abundance. That is one way to see it. In the area of life where your Pisces is located. So if you don't know where that is, you can always download a chart on astro.com and see where, what house, what placement the Pisces stellium is happening for you, because this is great times. Like in my case, I know that there's this huge possibility of expanding the place I live. I have my Pisces house in the 4th house, and I am going to move into a beautiful space, big and beautiful piece of land. And that it's been a dream that I've had for years, not for like a little bit. It's been since 2008. I've been dreaming of living in a beautiful piece of land with nature and being able to be in community. And that's a dream that's coming true for me. And it's actually coming true in the most magical ways. So we need to keep trusting that's my personal dream. But what is your personal dream? And how are you allowing this to happen in your life? So look at your Pisces house and see how that falls for you. So if it's, and I'm going to kind of go briefly with just the Pisces stellium. If it's in the 1st house, then you might be feeling a renewed sense of self, where your body, your identity is getting like everything you could have wanted out of your personal desires and how you go out in the world. If it's in the 2nd house, there might be like a lot of changes with regards to your money, your resources, maybe money, lots of money coming in, or lots of resources and abundance coming in. It's not only money, it's resources. We're talking about resources. So maybe you're having great exchanges where you're like having great opportunities, or like a way of acquiring things that make your life much more rich and sensual and beautiful. The 3rd house might be having like this Pisces stellium, like a whole like beautiful ways of communicating, poetry, and maybe you're publishing something or learning something new that has been your dream for like a super long time. I'm just going briefly through what this could mean. In the 4th house, again, it could be you're moving homes and your home is expanding and you're moving to a beautiful place, or you're redecorating your place, and there's things to make your space more beautiful, more graceful, more magic and majestic. Or your family could also be expanding. Maybe there's somebody like there's a new member of the family, your family, or you're going back to your roots and connecting with your family and having beautiful family gatherings or family healing. Those are all themes of the 4th house. And the 5th house could bring like immense amount of joy and fun and expression. Maybe there's something that you've always wanted to create, and now you're doing all these creative activities and expressing that in new ways that you never thought of, or you're just having fun and having parties and people coming into your life where you can actually laugh and have a good time. Or even lovers coming in, maybe romance is coming your way. Maybe there are, people, maybe there's a new girlfriend, boyfriend, slash whatever romantic partner coming in. The sixth house, maybe there are blessings coming your way when it comes to your daily routines, your daily life, even your or health. Maybe you're like having the greatest time taking care of your body and feeling super healthy, and then or getting this massive gifts of health, or a new pet might come into your house, because the sixth house is where pets are. So you might be acquiring a new pet, or also maybe you have, maybe in your job you have a promotion, or something happens in your daily life or your job that you've always wanted something to achieve something. So lots of gifts in that area of life. In the seventh house, huge gifts with respect to relationships. And maybe you are getting married. Great time to maybe say, hey, this is maybe the time to get married, if you're in a relationship that's about to tie the knot or something like that. So it brings great gifts. Also contracts and partnerships, like business partnerships, could be like coming into like, wow, this great person that you've been wanting to connect with, and suddenly you form an alliance that is like magnificent, and it brings gifts and abundance, and and because these two stelliums of Pisces and Taurus are connected, it's like everything we're doing is for the better. It might feel rocky and unstable for a while, but it will in the end bring gifts. So this is why I'm going through this like gift. I want to gift you this as a gift, not so you get depressed about the other more difficult aspects in the world. In the eighth house, you might be connecting to resources that come from other people. Maybe you're receiving a big inheritance, or something comes your way. It's a windfall. Maybe you win the lottery. Who knows? Yes, yeah. If this is falling in your eighth house, like, I don't know, play the lottery. You never know. Or there might be great gifts coming from people. You might be receiving things and connecting to that. Or also you might be looking deep within you and healing deep ancestral, or not even just ancestral, maybe deep seated wounds from your childhood. There might be huge help, great help. Maybe you find great therapists or great people that are supporting you in a difficult process that you have been wanting to move past. That's the eighth house. In the ninth house, oh my gosh, you could be scheduling a big trip, or suddenly there's change of plans, but it takes you to some magnificent other place. Or you could be also changing your belief systems into, like, not changing, but more like acquiring a new sense of spirituality that awakens you so much more amazement about your own soul's journey. You could be undertaking studies like of higher education. You could be like signing into like a university course or something like that. Or you could also be teaching, have a position or have the opportunity to teach at a lot of people. So, or even to publish something as well, or anything that has to do with sharing information, not in the Gemini third house way, but with others. So these are all themes, right? 10th house, the themes is with your career, your vocation. Maybe huge opportunities come your way to present yourself in the world, or present your work in the world, or be visible in the world. Or you might attract people in your life that are bringing you opportunities to push forward what you really truly desire, that is meaningful for you in the world. 11th house would be gifts being brought to you regarding your communities, organizations, friends, maybe new friends or groups of friends that are coming together to create something beautiful or more connected. Maybe you work in an organization and then there's this, I don't know, maybe big money coming in, or gifts, or pushing forward the connectedness of whatever you're working with or through. Then finally, the 12th house, you might be flooded with inspiration from spirit, flooded with dreams, lots of dreams, very connected, maybe almost being completely psychic, and being able to channel immense amount of information, even maybe healing past, opening yourself to even things that they're not even from this lifetime, but with such grace. And then again, I felt like going through where this could be in your chart, just so that you can pinpoint where these gifts are being given to you and how to embrace them and move with ease and grace. Wow, okay. And that was short. It's just the themes, right? But now we're going into April 29th. Pluto will be starting its retrograde. And when Pluto goes retrograde, we're going to go again to revisit for a few months until October the themes regarding power structures. All of the Capricorn themes we will be revisiting and reviewing. So everything that was exposed of the nastiness of how power is being used in the world, maybe to control and dominate, everything that we saw from the powers outside, whether it is with war, with mandates, with who knows, anything having to do with Capricorn themes, the corporate structures, and all of that we have been seeing in the world. Now, when Pluto goes retrograde, we might be having to integrate all of that and review and revisit some of these themes again and again, just to make sure that we are really, for once and for good, once Pluto moves direct sometime in October, November. I just don't have the date right here in front of me. I should, oh gosh, but I just don't. But when we get there, we'll talk about it. But once Pluto moves direct again, we will be having that final pass of what needs to go in the structures of power, control, and domination, the rat race. As we're having this massive awakening, we're also letting go of that. So, I told you that last week. If you're already in the evolutionary bus, you're good to go. Okay, I'm just I'm wanting to go a little bit, glossing over this a little bit, just because we have a big event. And I wanted to talk about this much more than anything else, really. It's the solar eclipse. So it's a Taurus new moon, but it's not just a new moon. It's a solar eclipse. So what constitutes an eclipse is that the eclipse tends to happen close to the nodes. So when the eclipse happens close to the moon nodes, when the new moon occurs close to the nodes, the moon's nodes, then we have an eclipse. That's what an eclipse is. And this will kick off eclipse season, because that means that our lunations, whether there are new moons or full moons, when the moon is opposite the sun, will be in conjunction with the nodes. So our next eclipse will be when the moon is in Scorpio. We'll talk about that in a couple weeks. And eclipse season is like super mega powerful moons. So when the seed is planted in the new moon, this is not just planted for a little bit. It's planted for 6 months. So the themes planted in this new moon will be evolving through the next 6 months. So big portal. And because it involves the nodes of the moon, which are our evolutionary points, this is where we're being pushed. And when it is a north node eclipse, it means whatever themes are happening in this new moon, which are all the things we have discussed. The themes of Venus, Neptune, Jupiter together, the themes of Pluto, the themes of of the Taurus, and these changes in the way we get our resources. And Taurus, and I cannot stress this enough. With this Taurus North Node, we've made videos about the nodes shifting into Taurus that we will link somewhere at the end of this video. Taurus is inviting us to be self-sufficient, self-sustaining, to be able to be sovereign, to get our own food. And Taurus always invites abundance. So there is enough abundance for everybody. Yes, there are changes happening in the world. And when this eclipse happened, maybe that's when they announce, I don't know, some kind of new economic system or currency. With Uranus being so close in this eclipse, it's like there's going to be some changes, whether we like them or not, that are for evolution and will push us, yes or yes, into having to change the way we get our resources. So are we going to go into a dystopian future where everything's going to be controlled by some kind of great reset, and that pushes and forces everybody to figure out how we're going to be more kind to Earth? I don't know. Maybe that is one way. Or are we already aligning with how we can take responsibility? And this is where Saturn comes in. And we take responsibility for our collective, Aquarius, and our responsibility with the people, the collective, society, and our own ways of gathering resources. Are you already making your little gardens and your little connections with your friends and in a local environment to promote more of this, instead of being afraid that, oh my gosh, the world's gonna collapse, there's all these conspiracy theories, or not, maybe they're true, who knows? I am not into politics, but we can see, like, you know, the World Economic Forum and their Great Reset agenda of a global world economy, and them wanting to kind of control the way economy goes. Sure, why not? That's a way. But that's not the only way. We can, you know, like, if we're sovereign beings, we have free will. We actually do. You have free will. So right now the energy is pushing us to get together with people. And if it pushes us, Uranus will take the rug under your feet. So are you going to align with this new way of being with the Earth in good and right relationship with the Earth because of a crisis or something being taken away from you, Uranus? Or are you already embracing this change and you know, moving into, you know, the co-creation? I have a friend, for instance, that I really truly dearly love, who has been doing this for a few years already, who started in his neighborhood doing food forests. And he's really involved with community and having everybody in the neighborhood, you know, participate in creating a food forest in the neighborhood. Now, that's what I'm talking about. If you're not, like, let's say in a community, in a piece of land or something like that, good. But look at these possibilities. People are starting their little community gardens, their neighborhood initiatives. Because yes, what happens if, I don't know, something collapses with the supply chain? We have been seeing this already, but an inflation going off the roof. Like, yes, all this is already happening, and it's happening for a reason. Either we cooperate with evolution or we just get dragged by it, and you choose that. So if you're already affecting these changes and getting your hands into your own resources and the way to create exchanges with people, you know, you can even create maybe your own local way of exchanging monies or exchanging gifts. Taurus is about abundance, about stability, about pleasure. Why would the divine not want that for us? We want that for us. In a polarized world where we're seeing that for eons, there's this disparity precisely these Capricorn power over structures, creating the rich more rich and the poor more poor and more inequality. Well, what's happening is now we're coming to a place of awakening where you can choose, how do you want to live? Do you want to live in a world that feels like it's abundant, that you're not a slave, that you don't have to be in a rat race? And yes, that might mean that money needs to go, but the whole point is to not see it as something bad. And I'm not saying money is going to go. It's just that it's going to change, and it's inevitable. With these evolutionary forces of our transpersonal planets like Uranus, it's inevitable, whether you like it or not. And I don't know, good news, bad news. The choice you have is how you're going to be in this change. Are you going to be in this change with fear? I'm going to lose everything and la 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 la. Or are you going to be in, okay, how am I promoting a new way of doing economy, exchanges? How am I promoting this? Am I doing this from the heart? Am I doing this with gratitude? I call this, I made a video a long time ago in my other channel, Tatiana's Spiritual Toolbox, about the gratitude economy, where everything is based, instead of putting value and numbers on things, is based on how grateful you are for the exchanges. And then you give of yourself, whatever, whether it is with money or things, through gratitude. And then these exchanges happen from the heart. And this is a new way of economy where everybody gets their needs met and there's no hierarchy, really. Another thing about this solar eclipse is that we're being pushed into this new way, whether you will like it or not. The new currency also, you might think, is crypto. Yes, there's a possibility that there is an existing cryptocurrency that's, very Uranian, very Aquarian. However, there is a real resource called food. I'm going to tell you this. This can get me something, but what is this? This is a piece of plastic. Yes, in Canada, bills are plastic. I cannot eat this. I really can't. So it doesn't matter how much of this I have. If I can't eat it, it doesn't matter. I cannot eat it. I will be pooping. I don't know what I'll be. Did I just say this? Anyway, the whole point is, let's go back to the simple. Taurus is about simplicity. Taurus is about being slow, being connected to Mother Nature, being connected to her abundance and her wisdom. I have been learning how to slowly garden, like since last year. I started, and I don't know how to do this. Usually the North Node also points towards an energy that is like, well, we got to move here, but a lot of us don't know how to do it. So we're learning, and it's okay. We all kind of learn how to garden. We all kind of learn how to, grow food. Doesn't have to be a big, massive scale. Just get together with people, and with people who know how to do this, and be happy about it. Like, how beautiful it is when you actually realize that we don't need all this stuff, and things, and be in the rat race to pay bills, and more of this and more of this, so we can pay for more of stuff, more and more. How about we simplify? There is a saying that says, I don't know if it's a saying. I don't remember where it comes from, but it's the rich person is he who needs little. I mean, I'm trying to translate it because I kind of knew it in Spanish, but the rich person is he or she who needs little, not he or she who has a lot. The rich person is he or she who needs little, not he or she who has a lot. So you see, needing little just doesn't mean to not provide for your needs. It's just to see, like, do I really need this? Do I really need that? Do I really need more of this? Do I really need 10 of this? I already have 2 closets full of clothes. Do I need 20 pair of shoes? No, maybe I just need 3 or 4 that are like amazing, comfortable, and beautiful that I love. Maybe that's it. So great time to purge your closet, great time to take out stuff that you're just hoarding. And that is the shadow of Taurus, is the hoarding. Because Taurus is abundance, but when there's too much, then there's too much. And then too much does not allow for flow. It's hoarding. Flowing means I just need this and everything else I can share. That's why the polarity of Taurus, which is Scorpio and the 8th house, is about shared resources. So if we're hoarding too much, we will be forced to share or be let go of something. So don't wait until something's taken away from you. Just, lovingly detach yourself from that you no longer need, that somebody else might be needing at this time and really wanting. And that's how we start balancing out. So this solar eclipse has all these themes, is placing all these themes with the Venus Jupiter conjunction on the solar eclipse, bringing you your wildest dreams as the world is changing, as it's a rocky and bumpy ride, because the North Node is in evolutionary astrology points towards your evolution. And in ancient astrology, it was not necessarily seen as something good. It's just like the head of the dragon that eats and wants more, and it's like, it's never satiated, kind of. However, I see it in terms of our evolution as that we are needing to get in touch with more, and that's why we're being pushed towards this energy. Yes or yes. So that's going to be like, and I feel like so many astrologers are talking about this. So it doesn't matter who you hear it from, just go online and browse other astrologers. There's people like, I follow some wonderful astrologers like Pam Gregory. I follow Achyuta Baba. I follow Ren Butler. And I follow so many of my dear collective of astrologers. So anybody you want to connect with and hear their perspectives from, we'll be talking about this in one way or another. So if you don't get it from me, get it from somebody and get on with the plan. Cool. And before I keep just like rambling too much, there are definitely also all these sextiles that are happening that we've been talking about that will be more present from the last, day of this week until next week. So we will talk about these sextiles a little bit more next week, but they're starting to come into action, which is, again, these opportunities that we have to create beauty, to communicate with grace, to be compassionate to one another, give words of love, words of appreciation, charm. The Venus Mercury invites diplomacy, charm. Mars sextile Uranus, maybe like something gets like your desire to act and change and move, and then there's this impulse of like to do something, and just you have this sudden energy to just go this way or that way. So there could be this like sudden energy to do something, like, oh my gosh, I got this great idea and now I'm going to act on it. So these are all possibilities. Okay, that's that. I think that is the end of this. Oh yeah, so yeah, because these are all our next week's themes. Wow, so that was long. I know it was long. So this week's report was kind of long, but I wish you a good ride into your dreams, even though the bumpiness will be there. It might feel that you need to flow. Trust. These are the words that are coming. Just trust. Keep trusting and grounding. This is probably very beautiful times. And yeah, if there's still something that is toxic in your life, I would say it is going to be gone by the time the eclipse occurs in in Scorpio. And if it's not gone, it will be shown as like, this needs to go, and it's going. The South Node, you know, the North Node, it's like, this is what's coming, you know. And as we move into the other eclipses, it's like, well, yeah, this will come only if you can release this and let it out of your evolution. It's no longer there. I said, I think I was in another video that I mentioned that there is going to be like next month, it's like there's going to be such like rocket fuel energy into the future that there is, in your rocket, there's no compartment for baggage. And I will be repeating that later for next month. But this is a preparation. This is literally these endings. Take the time. Take 2 weeks to not push, I would say. Just do that. Okay. All right, my friends. This was like long. I love talking, but I hope you like to listen to this, and that this gives you perspective, that this helps you move through whatever you're moving through. If you would like a reading to be more in tune to exactly how this is affecting you in these very like hectic transitions, then please feel free to look into the below in the comments, and you can just reach me that way. Join, share, like, subscribe, bell, all of that. Astrology Victoria, everything's down in the comments below.